Hello, this is Kristen Brindley with DC Metro Real Producers. Welcome to our podcast. Hello, DC Metro Real Producers. This is Kristen Brindley, your publisher, and I'm here with George Glekas, our fantastic title attorney and owner of GPN Title. And thanks for having us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Kristen. Hello, everybody.
We're in his gorgeous space here in King Farm. And George, can you tell us a little bit about your story? So how did you become a title attorney and how did you get into this wonderful business?
Well, back in 2002, I went to law school, and when I got out in 2005, I was actually anticipating going into a different industry, but ran into some people that were in the real estate law sphere, and having grown up in the area, born and raised here in Rockville, my mother was a real estate agent from 1978 to about 2001, and I saw her in action. I saw her serving her clients. I saw her getting ready for open houses and going to present contracts, and of course I was out doing door-to-door calendars or handing out flyers, and learned a lot about the business just from a young age.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It gives you a different insight about a realtor's life.
Yeah. So when I got out of law school, was fortunate enough to meet somebody in the industry and got a position with their firm also in Rockville. And after 4 years of learning there and gaining some experience, started GPN in 2009. So we're starting our 10th year. Very excited about that.
That's fantastic. So, and if you haven't been to this gorgeous space, definitely come check it out.
Come see us.
Yeah. So George, can you tell us a little bit about what you're excited about in your business right now?
Well, right now, I think with things changing and access to the internet and new softwares coming out, we're real excited about some of the new software we've implemented for buyers and lenders and realtors to be able to jump online and give us all the information we need. We've streamlined the process just to make it easier for everyone. And then, of course, for realtors and lenders on the backside, with pre-docs and digital docs, which we'll be using, we can co-brand all future correspondences to the client so that the realtor or agent are included in those with their information and photo.
That's fantastic. That's great retention for the clients and for yourself for doing future business with those people. That's great.
Yeah, we're trying to stay up with the times, right?
Absolutely. Well, you're better at the reviews than a lot of people I've seen. Tell us a little bit about that. You guys, they have a lot of reviews. Tell us, yeah.
Yeah, we've been lucky, I guess, because we don't really go fishing for them, but as I'm learning, the new generation, it jumps online. That's where they get all their info, and they trust the reviews of other consumers. And so if you jump online and you punch in GPN Title, I think you're going to see a lot of great things. It definitely makes me feel good when I can read that a client left here and actually took the time to put something out there telling everyone how good of a job we did,
Can you tell us a little about your philosophy and on title and what it is that you do? I love the way that you think about it.
Well, I think since day one, I worked for another company that was good, but I just kind of knew that things need to be done. I could do things a little better, and tried to go out and just promise the highest level of service, and then follow through and provide that for everyone. And I try to remember that somebody's buying a house today. It's not just a file. We kind of treat it like it's a big deal here, and no matter how many we have, somebody's woke up this morning, they're wiring a lot of money, they're packing their moving truck, and we're kind of a blip in the process, but we want to make sure that it is a good blip and that when they're here, they leave with a good taste in their mouth, so everybody in the process looks good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, George, so can you tell us a little bit about your strategy for getting clients and what that's been like and where that's kind of going?
Yeah, I think from the get-go, it started with the service, and we give great service, and people come back. We have repeat clients, and I think that's the biggest marketing for us through the initial years of growth, which was fantastic to see. We've kind of entered into the new frontier, a little bit of Facebook, a little bit of Twitter, and we've dipped our toes in that, and hopefully that'll increase as we start to learn more about it. But moving forward, we've made the leap to things like Real Producer, which we were so excited about. And I was introduced to Kristen through a good friend, Shannon Whistler, a mutual friend. We got together at a fun location. I got to learn more about the magazine. We've been working with some of the Real Producers, and it made sense. And being able to get some exposure with the other ones and really have an opportunity to work with the agents that really know what they're doing and really are in touch with the community was the goal.
Fantastic. So George, can you tell us about like your 1 year, 5 year, your vision of where everything is going?
Yeah, as we've grown, we've adapted and moved into this new space, which we love so much and we're so pleased with. Moving forward, we look forward to some other locations where we can maintain the service that we provide here and try to replicate not just me, but some of the other people that have the experience here in other locations. That's the main goal, is to maintain the service if we do look into expansion, which I think is on the horizon.
Fantastic. And so you've had what kind of growth have you had over the last few years, and is that like a planned maintenance of that growth? Like what does that look like for you too?
Yeah, well again, I think over time we have seen substantial growth year to year, which has been great. Both, you can read into that as just positive feedback or just hard work here, but I think people are happy and they want to come back when they go through the process with GPN, and we're going to continue to provide that level of service because it's been a recipe for success up to now.
Absolutely. It's the challenge, it's a familiar challenge for a lot of our Real Producer partners and for the Real Producer community is replicating oneself and finding the talent to do so, and then the retention. And so we all can relate to that.
Absolutely.
All right, George, so obviously you're a pretty busy guy, so thanks so much for having us out here today. What is your day-to-day schedule like for you?
Well, first of all, thank you for coming. It's a pleasure having you. And day-to-day in this industry is constantly changing. It's constantly in flux. Settlements can be moving, but for the most part, I do a handful of settlements each day. I like to be a part of the file and a part of the purchase process. And then I'll be out in meetings, often lunches, talking about the industry, talking about the changes, meeting with realtors, lenders, and even other title owners. And we'll just kind of bounce things off each other and help each other out. But for the most part, that's the day in the life. And then we go home to the family and try to turn it off for a few minutes, right?
Absolutely. All right, George, can you tell us a personal focus you have right now?
Well, over the years, especially starting out, it was just work, and I think it paid off in a lot of ways. But as you get older, and my lovely wife Elleni and I now have 4 young kids, I've tried to focus a little more on a work-life balance. Addressing their needs, spending time with them, and getting out of the office a little bit more.
Do you do any coaching or anything like that?
Well, yeah, now that the kids have gotten older, I've had the opportunity, again, this all goes back to having a great staff, had the opportunity to get out and coach soccer, coach basketball, and be more involved in their lives while meeting more people in the community and kind of making new friends. A lot of times that's just the parents of other kids, but we have a lot of interaction in Elleni, in Rockville, down in DC, where we go to church and I'm on the board at the church. So these are all just positive things that we enjoy being a part of.
So George, what's a tip that you would give Real Producers and working with you all with title?
Well, most of the agents that are in Real Producers have seen it all, or just about everything. But what I've found over the years is knowing a little more about the client, being able to impress upon them that we're all on the same page is really helpful. So let's say you have a couple coming in from Seattle and they're purchasing here and moving to the area. That's good information to know. Maybe they're going to be living close to my house or close to one of the employees that work here, and we can give them some tips or pointers. it's also nice to impress upon them that we're all on the same page and we're in communication with each other. And I think that just makes everybody feel more comfortable from the get-go.
Thank you so much, George. You heard it here with DC Metro Real Producers. You've heard it from DC Metro Real Producers.